Is it going, yeah? Got a massive look. Did I get it? All right, sweet.
Please stop doing that.
Yes then, people. In this video, I'm specifically going to talk about how I lost fat and how it could probably help you lose fat too. As you can see, I'm still in Bali, currently sitting in a pool because this is the best angle with the sun. Plus, it keeps me nice and cool and saves me sweating my tits off. But what we're specifically going to talk about is how 2 months after post-surgery, I went from this to 3 months later, just before coming to Bali, looking like this. And I'm going to talk specifically about the 5 things that I majorly did in order to get there. If you find this video useful, then please make sure you drop it a like. And of course, if you're new here, please subscribe because there's probably going to be a lot of other videos that are going to help you out too. All right. So the first thing that I did, and was obviously for me the big difference maker in terms of why I got out of shape, first of all, was the fact that I couldn't really do a lot of exercise once I had surgery. I only really could do rehab, which is very low intensity, doesn't really expend the amount of energy that I normally would. So the first thing that I did was get back to weight training consistently. And for me, this is the most important when it comes for getting in shape. Now, obviously, you know, diet is super important and we're gonna go into that further, but if you're not putting the effort in when it comes to training, it can be very hard to have the motivation and want to change a lot to do with your food. Plus, exercise massively plays into how we feel. And yeah, you're just not gonna build muscle. You're not really gonna get in the best shape you can without exercise. So for me, make sure you start resistance training consistently. And the reason why you need to be resistance training is, as I said, that's going to enable you to build muscle, that's going to give you shape, that's going to get you into a place where you can probably look to get into a lean body fat percentage and yeah, be pretty happy and pretty shredded. In terms of being in a consistent place for your training, I would always suggest to get, you know, to stick with a certain amount of days that you can fit in your schedule. So many people think they need to train 5 or 6 days a week. I was resistance training 4 days a week and I was doing a push-pull split. Okay, I'd be in the gym for about an hour to an hour and a half. I had 8 exercises and I just focused purely on progressively overloading and making sure I was trying to work back towards, you know, the sort of weights I was lifting before, you know, pre-surgery. So that's the main one that you need to be doing, training consistently. All right, get doing it. So the next thing that I did was, of course, eat consistently and make sure that I was in a small calorie deficit as well as having a high protein diet. Now I'm gonna link my video to my full day of eating because that is literally the exact strategy and the way in which I helped keep my eating consistent throughout the whole, you know, sort of 3 months, if I'm honest. I didn't actually track in term when I actually got into shape. Now, usually for a lot of people and for a lot of beginners and for my clients, I always recommend tracking. I have tracked before, so I do understand what I'm putting in my mouth. It was a great tool for me before, but I wanted to approach this a little bit differently. And, you know, in that full day of eating video, I also show how to do it and how not to track it. So maybe go and check that out as well. I was aiming for around 4,000, okay? And in terms of protein, aiming for about 200. So nothing super special in terms of numbers, just focusing on getting it consistent. You see, so many people worry about the right numbers, worry about, oh, I need to get this little percentage in. But what they don't actually realize is you just need to focus on getting your nutrition consistent. Once your calories are consistent, you can actually learn and let your body adapt to that. So then you can actually make adjustments if needed. And just by getting your nutrition consistent, you're gonna see consistent performance in the gym. You're gonna then start seeing consistent results. And then ultimately, you're then gonna be in a place where you're gonna go, do you know what? I know what I'm doing is working. I just need to keep on doing it. Now, the next thing I did has to be by far the most underrated thing when it comes to actually leaning down and getting in shape. And often it's the biggest thing that I find, if it fluctuates, is where I see a big fluctuation in my body weight. That is steps. I was doing at least 10,000 a day. I'd be going for walks in the morning, and if I didn't go in the morning, I would then go in the evening. Not to mention, I was still doing a bit of face-to-face coaching, so I actually was doing quite a bit of walking just with day-to-day work. Just making that effort to go out and do 5,000 steps in the morning, and then making sure, and then of course, probably having already 5,000 in my day, I was easily over 10,000, if not moving towards 100,000 total for the week. Just by having that extra energy expenditure, it's amazing how much you can afford to be eating a little bit more. I always talk to people about that that perfect calorie number, saying to them, you don't want to starve yourself, because if you're low in energy, you then can't actually expend plenty of energy, you can't train well, and you can't actually get the physique you want. The reason why I said it's underrated is because so many people think they need to go hard and go for a run and do shit tons of cardio, but you can go for a walk every day. And if you're already doing plenty of high intense training in like resistance training, like I stated before, then something like a low intensity walk allows you to expend energy regularly every single day, and it's still not going to affect your body too much. If anything, it's going to help recovery. If you're not tracking your steps, you know, honestly, what are you doing? Oh, coffee cup. Yes, right, little coffee break. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have my coffee while I'm doing this. Oh, love coffee. Cheers, mate. Oh, unflipping real. Honestly, you can get coffee delivered here for, how much does that cost for a coffee delivered? £2? Right, moving on to the next thing. Oh, bags, litter everywhere. Right, moving on to the next thing. That was making sure I drank at least 3 litres. So many people sleep on hydration, and honestly, if you're looking to diet and you're looking to control your eating, you're looking to feel good in your sessions, you need to be making sure you drink enough water. Like, your muscles are literally 70% water. If you are dehydrated, you automatically are way more ravenous. You're more likely to deviate away from sticking to your calories. Probably not going to sleep very well either. It really does play into everything. And, you know, for me, it was drinking at least 3 litres, which really, really did help me stick to my nutrition and just kept me focused. We're trying to build a habit, make the habit easy and make the habit attractive. And what I mean by that is buy yourself a really nice water bottle. So for me, I bought a litre fancy bottle with a straw. And honestly, I just found that I drank way more with a straw. It made such a difference for me. I was drinking 3 bottles of it, no problem. And that's not including tea and coffees as well, which are sort of having two coffees a day around that. So yeah, it's a necessity. Right then, the final one that was a big difference maker, and I think most people sort of get wrong, is a regular sleep pattern. Now, this doesn't need to be perfect, nothing is, but what you want to try and do as much as you can is wake up at a similar time and go to bed at a similar time. That doesn't mean on the dot. You're probably going to be paranoid and then end up not sleeping if you work yourself up and go, do you know what, I need to sleep at this point. Honestly, the difference will be immense. There's so much research now to suggest that sleep massively plays into our health. If you don't get enough sleep, your hunger hormone, ghrelin, will increase dramatically. Leptin, which is the one that fills us up, will decrease, and it's just going to be much harder to stick to your calories. Not to mention, if you're looking to lose fat, you're giving your body less calories, okay? It's now working harder than it probably would do if you were in a surplus or giving it plenty of fuel. So that comes with a bit less recovery, and that means also you're probably going to need a little bit more sleep, okay? Your stress levels might increase due to the fact you're hungry all the time. So it's so important that even when you're looking to lose fat, you put even more importance on making sure you're getting sort of your 7 to 9 hours, all right? So regular bedtime, regular wake time, and you'll be sick. The last couple of things I wanted to sort of touch on aren't super important, but they really, really do help. The first one is changing your eating window. Now, this isn't for everyone. Most people in the industry call this intermittent fasting. Yes, that's right, you're just skipping breakfast. But for me, it works really well. Just by pushing breakfast as far back as I can, it tends to mean my meals are closer together, which means that I'm not as hungry in between meals, which tends to mean I tend to have smaller portions, and it ultimately helps me eat less calories. A lot of people are scared. They're like, oh, I feel lightheaded, I go a bit hypo. Trust me, you get used to it, okay? Give that a go. The other thing that I'd recommend is cardio. Now, as I said, I did do 4 days a week in the gym. I used to do 5, but I actually kind of like doing 4 days in the gym and then doing 2 cardio-based sessions, and they are moderate to low intensity. I don't want them to be super high intensity. I'm already putting a lot of stress, putting a lot of intensity through my body with resistance training, and that's the stuff that I really care about in terms of getting stronger. I'm looking at cardio as sort of like zone 2 vibes, 60 to 70%, still able to have a conversation with people while doing it, but just burning off some extra energy, as well as just focusing on my health, making sure my heart's in a good place, and still staying fit, because I like to do sports like surfing. I like to still, play golf, and it's nice to be nice and fit. The last one that I would mention is supplements. They are not a necessity. but they do help. When you are trying to stick to a lower calorie number and trying to get in a certain amount of protein, any sort of protein shake is massively going to help you out. It's literally protein at its most purest form. And you know, while I was sticking to my nutrition, you'll see this on my full day of eating video, I was having a protein bar a day because it was like my chocolate fix with a bit of fruit, and I was also having a shake in the morning which was giving me 50 grams. So I was getting 70 grams of protein from supplements, and it massively did help me out, and it made sticking to my nutrition a lot easier. The other supplement I was also using was creatine and maybe some multivitamins, just to make sure that I was, you know, still getting all my vitamins and minerals in me, helping me, you know, feel happy, stay healthy. But again, supplements will massively help you out. You could even class me drinking coffee, for example, you know, caffeine, as a supplement if you wanted. It just helps me perform better in the gym usually when I have a coffee before. Definitely look into getting some supplements because they aren't a necessity, and if you can do it without them, amazing, but they do make things a lot easier and they are super convenient. I hope you found that video useful. All right, I hope you enjoyed seeing the Buddha constantly in the back of this video. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate you, of course. Give me a comment down below what you thought of this video. If you want to see more like this, let me know. But other than that, what was I gonna say? Yeah, other than that, I hope you liked it. And of course, don't be a dick. Finished? Yeah, done. Coffee's absolutely unbelievable. Oh my gosh, I think that'll do for today. Have a great day. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.